I've been told spicy food burns both your holes. Welcome to Comedy Bang Bang. Thank you to Attila the Hyundai for that wonderful catchphrase submission and new catchphrase submittor or submistress. That sounds like I'm going to a dominatrix. Okay, but Attila the Hyundai, you're new. Thank you so much for that catchphrase submission, and welcome to Comedy Bang Bang for another week. Scott Aukerman, your host here, and we have an exciting show. Coming up a little later, we have an inventor. Okay. That's, I won't say it's new. We've had inventors before, but I would imagine that whatever this person has invented is new, because that is the very definition of an invention. I don't think it qualifies as an invention unless it's actually a new thing. We will also have a retiree. Oh, okay. I don't know that we've ever had a retiree on this show before, although I may be inching closer and closer to it. But let's not speak of that any longer and instead get to our first guests. By the way, mid-October, mid-Octi-Doggy. Hope everything's going well for everyone out there. And I certainly hope that things are going well for our first two guests. They are the star and the writer/director of a new film which came out on Friday called The Opening Act. It's in theaters and on VOD. I've seen the film myself. That may come as a surprise to the writer, director, star, but I watched this yesterday so I could have a lot to talk about with them. Please welcome to the show first-timers Jimmy Oyang and Steve Byrne. Hello, guys.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so good to... Steve, you and I have known each other for a bit of time. When we met... I know we met at a showcase where I came up and introduced myself to you afterwards. Is where I met Brent Weinbach and yourself, and then you did the Comedy Death Ray show for a number of years, and you're a stand-up comedian who's out there touring the country usually, except stand-up comedy is now a dead art form.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we met at Asia Street Comedy.
That's right.
It was a weird, kind of slapped together kind of show that somebody was putting on, and you happened to be there. We ended up BSing the whole time, and I had a great time. So, yeah, thanks for inviting me to come to your show back in the day and have me back on again. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I was so excited to see that you wrote and directed a film, which we will get to after I extend my welcome to Jimmy over here, who apparently I have met once at my house, and I don't remember it.
I snuck into your house once, and you didn't even know it.
And you watched me, what did you say, sleep? Is that what it is?
Yes, for a couple of nights. You didn't know that.
Okay, interesting. Mm-hmm. Jimmy, people would know as an actor. You've been on Silicon Valley and Crazy Rich Asians. And you are look, I'm just going to come right out and say it, you're the lead role in this film.
Sounds weird, man. I'm so used to playing like these, like weird character-y parts, like the comedic relief. And now I get to be the lead. And, it's Steve trusting in me, man.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Steve, let's talk about the film and talk about the inception of it, although is this film like Inception? That's what I really wanted to ask.
It's best if you watch it while in a van and you have somebody drive you off the bridge and you fall while watching. Yeah.
I have plans to do that this weekend. So
it did kind of feel Inceptionist because once Jimmy's character hits the road, all those things did happen to me on the road. So it was slightly cathartic, and I'm watching a version of myself within myself as I'm watching myself.
What is the premise of the film? Because you say all these things happen to you on the road. Are you a truck driver?
After we'll see how this film does. If it does bad, I may be going across the country doing this to little kids.
I didn't know show business worked that way, where if you have one failed project, you get demoted to a different job.
Yeah,
I'll give my application to Carl Malone, and he'll hire me in this fleet of RVs going around the country. Yeah.
Did you say Car Malone?
You would think it would be Car Malone. That would be a great car dealership.
So you are a stand-up comedian, and this film is autobiographical in nature. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when my show got canceled, Sullivan and Son, I was back at the clubs in strip malls, eating chicken fingers and performing in Cleveland, Ohio.
Why don't they make things other than chicken fingers? Are chicken fingers popular?
I guess so. It's mozzarella sticks, chicken fingers, and you always order from the left side of the menu, right? I mean, it's just The food's fucking awful. It's so
terrible.
bad. Yeah.
You'd think with what we know about nutrition now, you'd think at least some of the clubs out there would have like a healthy option, but healthy option to them is like a Caesar salad, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the worst Caesar salad. It's like bagged Caesar salad that you shake in the, it's always bad. But people aren't going there for the food, right? They're coming there for
the laughs.
The laughs, right? The comedy.
Now, the second act of this film is all about the specific foods you ate at each club. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that Alex mentions, he rattles off all my favorite clubs because he's kind of the gatekeeper for Jimmy at first, and he gives him the lay of the land. So, yeah.
We're talking about Alex Moffatt from Saturday Night Live. He plays a really good character. He's so good in it, by the way, and I have seen this film, and I'll prove it. He's so good in it because I left thinking sort of like, oh, what a douchebag. And then I was like, oh, no, I was reminded, no, I like that guy on Saturday Night Live, and he's just playing it so well.
Yeah, he's the greatest guy for 48 hours is the way I describe it. And then you kind of like see, oh, maybe he's not taking this as seriously as he should be, right. Which is the
not
case.
Not the actor, but the character.
Right, yeah. So that's the lesson to be had for Will amongst many lessons. And Alex
boil down the premise of this movie. What exactly is it?
It's a kid that, he moonlights as a comic. He dreams about being a comedian, and he's got the safe job. He's got the great girlfriend, and he wonders, when am I going to get my break? When do I get to go all in? And the moment happens for him, and he goes for broke. And it's a comedian's very first time ever going on the road in a professional environment, opening for who happens to be his idol, a faded 90s, early 2000s sitcom star that's less relevant.
Played by Cedric the Entertainer, who's really great in the film.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the roles in this, from regular people to comedians, are played by comedians.
Yeah, that was a conversation we had early on of, whether we go to actors or some hybrid. And Vince Vaughn and I came to the conclusion that it's best to have straight comics, because then it becomes like the original Muppet movie, where along the way you're seeing all these people that are familiar or you can get to know, and everybody knew their part. Like when I asked Russell Peters, Eliza, and Brooks to be the radio DJs, I'd never had to direct them. I was like, you've been on the other side of this, so go for it. And that was it.
And you mentioned Vince Vaughn, who is a producer on the film. You just casually kind of name dropped Vince Vaughn there.
Sorry,
and you need to explain it. But he what does he have to do with the film? Why is he involved in this?
He was the one that, he was one of the first friends I had when I moved to Los Angeles, which is weird. But
Swingers is based on you, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Yeah. You know me. You know me, the ladies' man, fast talking Steve Byrne. No, I was. I'm going
to need you to slow down your talk, by the way, because I am not understanding anything you're saying.
That's right. Yeah. No, he was the one that's always been encouraging me to, when I first moved there, he said, there's not a lot of roles for you. You're Korean and Irish, unless they make a Riverdance Taekwondo movie, you're out of luck. So write your own shit. So I wrote Sullivan and Son.
So he's trying to neg you in order to take away your parts? Is that what
it is? Yeah. But very inspiring. And I gave him the script when I was on the road. And I just said, this is an exercise. I don't know if there's anything here, but I wanted to just do it to see if I could do it. And he read it and he said, there's definitely something here. And we worked out the kinks for over many months. I'd get notes from him. I'd go on the road, get notes, go on the road. And we did that for 8 months and then had the script.
Amazing. And did he mention it all the time that I saw him at Gelson's?
He brings it up every day. He brings it up every day. Every morning he wakes up, it's the first thing he thinks about when he brushes his teeth. He goes, I got to be better than that moment. What happened at Gelson's? Because I'm curious now.
No, I just saw him and he was gregarious and talking to every single employee, which seemed very on brand for Vince Vaughn.
It
was kind of like one of those Vince Vaughn sightings that you really leave going, I got a real glimpse into his character.
People always ask, they're like, what is he really like? I'm like, you've seen that. That's what he's really like. He's salt of the earth. He's a good guy. He'll talk to anybody, like you said.
I have a little secret on the first time I met Vince. I never told Vince about this.
It was at Scott's house, right? During his party?
Yes, this is Scott's house. And
Wait, he was there too?
Yeah. We brought a Gelson's party tray there, and Scott turned us away, so I had to sneak in the back door. But one of my very first movie roles, it was like basically no dialogue. I got hired to play a ping pong player at Google in the movie The Internship, with Vince and Owen. And apparently I botched that scene and the whole scene got cut and everything and nobody ever called me, and I had posted on the internet and like told all my friends about it.
Oh, no.
But then now that
can I ask why did you think you botched the scene? Just because it was cut out? Because a lot of scenes are cut out of movies. Where people did fine jobs, and that's what happens with movies.
I think I did botch it. Sean Levy was the director, who's a great guy, but I think he was getting quite frustrated with me because I wasn't hitting, like, I have good form playing ping pong because I grew up in Hong Kong. I competed in ping pong.
Did you really?
But now I'm like 30 years old playing ping pong. It's not the same thing, right? So I keep hitting the ball out of bounds.
So you had good form, but you couldn't actually hit the ball?
Right, I'm an actor, like basically that's what I'm a fraud. So, so they got real frustrated. But anyways, maybe I botched it. Maybe the scene just got cut. I'm going to say that I botched it, to keep my self-esteem low. That's where I like to be. And then, of course, Steve and Vince hired me for this movie, and Vince was just so nice coming on set, saying like, hey, we're just so glad to have you here. You've been doing a great job. And I was about to tell him that story. I'm like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Nice to meet you, sir.
Jimmy, what is it like? You mentioned you're the lead in this film, and in American film, and Steve, you can talk to this too, but you don't see a lot of Asian leads in movies, and especially a film like this about a stand-up comedian. It's kind of a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the script originally written didn't have an Asian person for sure in mind, right? Like I think the name was Will O'Brien. I'm glad we changed it to Will Chu later. Also have a lot of explaining to do. But it was just great. I think, and that's one of the great things about Steve, and one of the great things that I love about stand-up comedy. It's not about your race. It's just how funny you are. And almost the more different you are, the weirder you might be, the more not normal you might be, the more edge you have or whatever makes you funnier. And when you get on stage, none of that matters. You're just a comedian. And I think that speaks volume to the art of stand-up comedy, that they took a chance on this Asian brother.
That's wonderful. Right. And did you do your own material in the film, or
Steve,
did you write people stand-up comedy, or did every single person who played a stand-up comedian do their own material?
So basically, in like the first act, when I was doing open mics, when I'm supposed to not be doing that great yet, I was doing my own material, and then, and then in the third act,
Steve steps in.
Yeah, when I'm supposed to be killing it, Steve's like, "We got to knock this off. Here's some written scripts. Have at it." But
here's some of my F material.
I did do a lot of my, like, a few of my earlier jokes are in the film. And I think, same go with, for Winnie Cummings and Cedric, right? Some of the earlier bits they do on the film. So it's very interesting. It's almost like a half documentary. And also the movie just feels so real. Like, it's such a realistic view of the stand-up comedy world.
Steve, was it important to you to do a film that showed the world of stand-up a little more realistically than some of the movies that have been out there? I'm looking at you, Tom Hanks, and Punchline with all the lockers. And
that's right, yeah. Well, there was a nod to, there was a little, I guess you could call it an Easter egg to Punchline, being it that's the one sole reference everybody goes to. But when Ken calls Jimmy and says, "Hey, I'm going to Detroit. I got a chance to open for Stephen Gold. So can you do Pennsylvania Improv?" Stephen Gold was Tom Hanks's character's name in Punchline, so I just want to tip the cap
interesting.
to him.
I didn't catch that. Ooh,
yeah,
tip of the old cap to Punchline.
Thank you, sir.
From Mr. Steve Byrne.
But yeah, I wanted it to be grounded. The tone is a lot more realistic, and that was the great thing in working with Vince, especially in the edit bay, was that he kept saying tone. Let's keep this grounded. And as much as Swingers is realistic and Made is realistic, and there's still comedies, you still feel like it's a real world scenario. It's not mall cop or anything like that. Not knocking it, but we wanted to. If I was going to get one shot to make a film about stand-up comedy, I wanted to make the most authentic, realistic version of it, because if I didn't, I don't deserve to go on the road anymore after this. So I for sure wanted to make sure we did that.
Well, it's a great film, and people should check it out. And Steve, I expect your next film to be about the second job that you ever had, the second professional
Steven,
stand-up
the truck driver.
gig.
Yeah, that's right.
Or about your truck driving. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't be such a bad thing, honestly, for you to switch jobs because it would give you more material to talk about. I mean, do you really want to do another movie about stand-up comedy, you know?
I don't know. The first one was pretty arduous as it was. And the one thing I keep hearing from all the comics, from Bill Burr to Segura to, you know, any comic that's seen the screener, it's literally the same thing over and over again. Loved it. Very authentic. You brought back horrible memories that I finally got over, and now I got to go see my therapist again. So I thought that was a testament to it, because it really does, you know, not all comics have ended up under a trailer in Pennsylvania. Not all comics have bombed on the radio as graphically as Jimmy's character did, but they have had those instances and experiences throughout the way. And what I wanted to show everybody, you might have been to a comedy club, you've never been on the road, so you've never seen failure to this degree ever. And that's truly a testament to what all these successful comics have gone through. The trial by fire, the salmon that swam up shore. It's really, when you think about it and you compact it all in 4 days, it's a lot of shit to take on, from the condo to radio to Nothing Good Happens After Midnight and the partying and the intros and the light and all that shit. I wanted people to see the inside baseball of it all.
Well, you know, the specifics are not the specifics that actually happened to all of us, but the bombing, the constant bombing, it reminded me of the first 650 or so episodes of this podcast. So it really spoke to me. So congratulations, Steve. It's good. It's great that you did this. And Jimmy, I got to congratulate you, because now you're in the mix for Oscar nod.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, all right.
And this is the year to get a movie out. There are no movies. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to say that this wouldn't qualify in a normal year, but...
Come on, buddy. Come on,
what
man.
else is it going to be? The Invisible Man? You couldn't even see him.
You couldn't see him.
You could see Jimmy the entire movie.
That's very true. Jimmy, you're better than the guy that wasn't there. It's you and Pauly Shore and House Guest this year. We got to figure this one out.
Really tough competition.
But it means a lot coming from you, Scott, because I know that you're very, very involved, and you've done so much yourself, and obviously you've directed as well. So thank you.
So the movie is called The Opening Act. It's in theaters and VOD currently. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have an inventor. That's very exciting. And we will also have a retiree. And I'm not saying that, you guys aren't more exciting than talking to a retiree, but, there's a reason why that person's in C Block, maybe.
Well, we're all kind of retirees right now.
That's true. We're pre-retirees.
We're pre-retirees.
This person is not post-retiree, because I think that means that they would be dead. But they're in the midst of it. They're in the thick of retirement as we speak. We'll be right back with more Comedy Bang Bang after this.
I'm Kevin Hart, and you don't want to miss my new show, Inside Jokes, where I have the opportunity to talk to comedians in ways that I've never been able to talk to them before. Why? Well, because I believe that we're the most interesting people on the planet. Intimate conversations, and not the way that you think it. I'm not talking about nasty talk. I'm talking about real talk, raw talk with great dialogue. Inside Jokes is about jumping into the minds of our amazing comedians. Inside Jokes is available now on Stitcher. Just tap the image on your screen and add it to your favorites.
Comedy Bang Bang, we are back. We have Jimmy Oyang and, of course, Steve Byrne from The Opening Act in theaters and VOD currently. And we have to get to our next guest. He is an inventor. This is exciting. Jimmy, Steve, either of you ever invent anything?
Never. I watch Shark Tank all the time. It's one of my favorites. I'm really excited about this.
That shows my
Hello,
shit.
Sharks. I'm out.
That's right, yeah.
From Hello Sharks to I'm out. The Shark Tank story. It really gets you jealous. Like, I guess my mind doesn't work that way, other than inventing hilarious comedy over the past 25 years. Is there anything like, Steve, you've been doing stand up for so long.
Yeah.
Is there anything like you get to a club, other than changing the food, of course, but is there anything you're like, oh, I wish the mic would do this. If only someone would invent the mic that could do this, or I wish someone could invent a light that did this.
The only invention I ever thought of was putting like a coat hanger that has a little distance, like a buffer, behind the seat. Because people always hang their coat on the seat. But what if you elevate it a little bit and put a coat hanger at the back of your seat, so you can hang your jacket, actually, and it's just behind your seat, and you don't have to coat check or anything. It's right there. And then when you're done, you sleep back on.
But we have to get to this inventor. He is... Wow, I'm looking at his name. I think he may have invented something really interesting. Please welcome to the show, Henry Heimlich.
Why, thank you so much for having me, Scott. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, you have I hate to talk about someone's accent right off the bat, but you have such You have such an interesting accent. It sounds like you're from the south of Germany.
Yes. The south of Germany. Hamburg.
That is
Hamburg.
Now, you are not the inventor of the hamburger.
No, that is McDonald's.
No, I don't think it was someone from Hamburg, Germany.
I am an inventor myself, but I do not know the history of most inventions. Very bad.
Really? So I mean, everything is an invention. Everything in the world that you would look at, unless it's organic, it comes from nature.
Yes. Well, you could say the apple is an invention of Jesus. He has to think of what it is, right? You know, he has to go,
I guess so.
I want it to be sweet, and some of them tart, and some taste like poo-poo.
Do you think that Jesus visualized the apple in his mind and then made it happen, or did he just like say, I want something, and it came out, and then he was like, oh, okay?
I think he probably he's a grand architect. He has a lot of ideas. I think that's why he made all of us. He's like, I got all these ideas. I need to create them. And maybe he has help from the devil, because I think they were friends first, and then they split up.
Jesus Christ.
It was a nasty split. Do you remember when God unfriended
all time?
He unfriended the devil.
It was awful. They had to go live in separate places and make them opposites.
So, I mean, and that's a bad breakup when two people who live together, they have to split up and move to different apartments, but each apartment has to be the exact opposite of the other apartment. I mean, that's...
Do you think they had a period of time where they're like, I sleep on the couch?
I think if I were the devil, why would I move out of heaven and make it so different from heaven? Like, make it just like heaven, as the cure once said.
You probably have similar styles. You don't have to be like, now I don't like paved gold streets. I would assume if you're living together, you're like, oh, our design styles complement each other. And then you're like, no, I'm getting rid of the pearly gates. Must be fire everywhere. Come on, devil.
Now I'm going to start carrying pitchforks.
I've been writing for a Christian comedian.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll be sure to check out whoever.
You know is. Dave Coulier?
Yes.
What?
That guy who got blown in that theater? So, Henry, we have to talk about your own invention. Why are we talking about God and Jesus and the original inventor, although maybe he or she inspired you to invent? But what exactly did you invent?
Well, of course, I've invented the maneuver, the Heimlich Maneuver.
Mm-hmm. The maneuver, is that a car? What is that? The maneuver?
No, it's like a hug from behind for a person in need.
So you are the person when someone is choking and someone gives someone the Heimlich Maneuver, you invented that.
I invented the maneuver, yes. There was, in my town, South Hamburg, there was an onslaught of chokings in the late 60s.
What was going on?
I don't know. It was just like, did you hear about Hans? He'd choke on a chunk of cheese.
Wait, so the person was talking to someone named Hans about a different person named Hans?
Yes, there was two Hanses. There's two Hanses. Excuse me, Hans. Yes, Hans. Did you hear about Hans? So it's three.
Three Hanses.
Yes, so I was upset. These people are falling down, they're choking, they're dying. At first I was like,
So in order of importance, the falling down, the choking, and then the dying is what you were upset by.
I bury the lead on they all died, but they fall first.
Oh, some of them just died right there on the spot, and those were the lucky ones. Some fell first.
Yeah, some like stumble slowly, hit a chair, almost they're down, then fall. So then, I was like, what do we do? What do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do?
Is it now? Do you say zoo instead of do? Is that due to your German accent, or is that just a?
Yes, it's classic. The D's are Z's. If you look at a YouTube audition, YouTube tape to how speak to German.
German, yeah. Which is, by the way, not. You are from Germany, so that's not how you came up with the way you speak.
So your favorite carbonated beverage could be a Mountain Zoo.
Mountain Zoo, yes.
Got it.
I like to ride on a sea zoo in the ocean.
Sure. Which ocean? The German Ocean?
The German Ocean.
Yeah.
Yes. The ZC. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Close.
Yes.
Close. But yes, I was like, what should we do? Let's get rid of bite-sized
Now you just said do, by the way.
Yes, sometimes it goes. It comes and it goes.
Got it.
So I was like, what do we do? Do we get rid of bite-sized food? No, I tried this. It's everybody's favorite size. You cannot get rid of the bite-sized food. And I was like, okay, we must focus on chewing. We need to focus on chewing. I make posters for the chewing. I given them to restaurants. I said
to remind people to chew. I mean, now, Jimmy, your last name in this movie is Chew. Mm-hmm. Although spelled CHU, but it is misspelled CHEW on one marquee in the film. Is this speaking to you?
Yeah, little do people know that the Chu family invented chewing back in China. Before that, people ate things in a hole. It's yep.
Oh,
and it had to be bite-sized then. Because everything had to be in a amuse-bouche.
But a lot of people died. Like before they cut things bite-sized, and before a lot of people just perished.
Yeah,
right.
As they fell first and then died, possibly.
Stumbled slowly and almost hit a couch.
Yeah. Yes, they brace themselves. Is this really happening to me? They can see the death. I think it is. The lights go out. It's over.
Sure. So for a while you were putting up posters to advise people to chew.
Yes, and it was 15 seconds before swallowing. You has to do it for 15 seconds. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it was just too hard to enforce. People were like, we can't be living in fear of the choking constantly. We has to live our life. Let us out of here. Please, we just has to go. It's like you don't stop cars when people are getting in car accidents. You've heard this on the news, right?
Back in the 60s, sure. This is a big argument.
Yes, every year 100,000 people die of the flu. Why do we care? It's this stuff. So then I decided I need to get out of my head. So I went and I took mushrooms in the woods. And
you took mushrooms from the woods or in the woods or both?
I went out into woods just to hang out, and there was mushrooms there on dookie piles.
I don't know that I would take those. You're a very brave person. Especially, were you chewing these?
Yes. Well, so I was
15 seconds of dookie in your mouth?
Yes, you has to. I'm not going to go on there to solve choking and choke myself. So you chew, and I'm tripping, and a beautiful angel came to me, and all of a sudden, she started choking on a small piece of cheese.
What was she doing before then? She came to you to do what before
I
she started?
think I interrupted her, actually. She didn't necessarily come to me. I was walking in the woods, and I see a figure. She's in a little table. I think she's like in between on a break from something. She's just, I'm hungry. I'm just eating her food. She needs to get the nutrients.
So an angel on a break from her heavenly or earthly duties.
Yes, probably on a break at Starbucks in heaven. And of course, hell has coffee bean.
Well, okay, stop doing your material for this Christian comedian.
I has to test it. I has to just get.
You can't road test it here on this show. You got to come with already proven material.
You see this yellow notepad? I'm going to be testing Christian jokes and giving a check mark if I get anything.
All right.
I move on.
I'll give you a few more, but only a few.
Only a few. Thank you. Okay. So she starts choking on a little piece of cheese from a Starbucks protein pack. And I said, "Oh no." And it came to me. I will sneak up behind her.
Sneak.
Yes.
Is that an important part of the Heimlich maneuver that is not taught?
You has to sneak because you'll get more congratulations if you come out of nowhere. This man, he came out of nowhere with the Heimlich maneuver. It's part of the maneuver that people take out of the poster. Sneak up. Just be careful.
Take your shoes off beforehand so you can approach in socks.
Yes, train on your tippy toes. Hurry, but hurry. They're choking.
Sure.
So I squeezed the shit out of her.
You still haven't said how you got the idea to do this.
It came to me because of the dookie mushrooms.
Okay.
And honestly, it was obvious and a panic move. And I can't believe I was able to patent it.
Well,
because it's obvious.
I guess I would have thought that the idea would have come to you from, I don't know, there are so many different ways to think about this, like squeezing a sausage and suddenly, stuff comes out the top of it or something. But this just came to you from the dookie mushrooms, and you just thought you'd squeeze the shit out of this angel.
Yes, I mean, like you said, I'm always eating sausages. I'm squeezing the toothpaste tube. Mm-hmm. I like to hug people from behind and give them a squeeze, and they go, oh, and that didn't even do it.
None of that. None of that. Dookie mushrooms.
None of that.
It was the dookie mushrooms. I'm telling you, they just connect the dots.
So you invented this. It became a phenomenon.
It swept the globe. And I became very wealthy because I get paid every time somebody does a maneuver.
Can I ask a question? Have you ever been choking and someone's performed your very invention on you?
Well, that's a great question. But I, of course, have choked. I eat whole grapes. I eat a handful of nuts. I'm not going to live my life scared. I'm not going to. Okay? I'm not. People die in car accidents every year.
Yes. By the way, you're holding up the pad. Is this part of your material?
Okay. Sorry. But yes, sometimes the people perform my maneuver up, and I'm like, where did they come from? Amazing sneaking. But if you are by yourself, you can fall on top of the back of a chair.
Almost like you're slowly stumbling.
Okay. Exactly. As if, don't wait to the part where you're stumbling and you're about to die.
Yeah. Now I see a problem with this because you say, fall onto the back of the chair and that will, force the grape or the nuts out of you. But if Steve had his way, every chair would have a hanger on it and you would impale yourself. You ever think about that, Steve Byrne?
I fucked up. I'm so sorry, guys. I would never would have put two and two together until I met my new friend from Germany who's sea-doos in the German Dead Sea. Yes, sorry.
Yes,
on South Beach. Of the southern German Sea.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yes, usually when I go over to houses, I get anything off of the back of the chair. Don't throw any laundry up there or a tuxedo or anything like that.
From laundry to a tuxedo. The two things people have on their chairs.
The classic back of the chair stuff.
The greatest hits.
Well, I tell you, when someone gives you the Heimlich, I mean, that's got to feel good for them because
it's unbelievable to do the Heimlich on Mr. Heimlich. And it really, I don't even charge them.
So you let them do that pro bono for you. Amazing.
Yes. Because normally I get royalties, and I every time someone does a maneuver, I get paid. I get paid through ASCAP.
I see. So not with BMI.
No, ASCAP.
Incredible. But Now, are there variations to the Heimlich maneuver? Because, a lot like certain candies that are always adding flavors because people get tired of the same old thing. Mm-hmm. Are you adding little twists and turns to the Heimlich?
Yeah, well, there's the remix.
The remix?
Jesus
sort of like the
Christ.
remix to Ignition?
Very similar. Very similar. But you do it from the front.
Huh.
You do a squeeze from the front. But I was sued for the remix because sometimes people do Heimlich from the front and it goes into their mouth and they choke.
Oh, yeah. Gotta keep your mouth
So
closed.
it's
Very
never
important.
ending. It's never ending, the choking. It's back and forth, people doing the remix and they're caught in a loop of choking.
Just back.
And
Oh,
of
my
course-
God. A lot like a ping pong game.
It's just like a ping pong game, except with grapes, cheese, or a handful of nuts.
Amazing. So, and then the sneaking must be harder to do when it's from the front as well.
Yes, you cannot. It's almost impossible.
Maybe
to
there's
sneak.
misdirection. You can say like, look over there. And then suddenly they're upon you.
You can, but when someone is choking, it's hard to distract them.
Because they're focused on that usually.
They're very focused and they're not
Laser
like,
focused.
I cannot look. Yeah, it's really the most focused a human can be is 30 seconds before they choke to death.
Can you tag team a Heimlich? Like if you and I were sitting there and we saw Jimmy choking, for example, could we both, high five each other and go, let's go to work?
Share. We could share it. So, the Heimlich, you make a fist and you wrap around from behind and you grab the fist.
Yeah.
And you go just above the belly button. But if you feel the top of the ribs, turn around. You've gone too far.
Turn around
has
and go
to
back to where you started and then approach
Yes.
again.
Stop. Turn around, slow down. Go back, go in between, be like, is there a mole that I lost my place at? Or something like that. You'll find your way back in the middle and you pull. So you could be the fist and I could be the arm that grabs the fist. And we could share the Heimlich.
Well, that's wonderful. Any other Heimlich related news you have to share?
Well, I am trying to come up with new projects. I have the Heimlich eye wash. Ooh. So when you get something in your eye, well, you sneak up. Someone is like, shit, I have something in my eyes. They're like, it's not as obvious. People at the table don't go, there's something in his eye, so it's hard to notice.
Sure,
you
but
sneak up behind.
the international sign for I'm choking where like someone points to their neck and
Yes.
someone doesn't
Yes.
really do that with their eyes unless it's like Robert De Niro in Meet the Fockers or something.
Yes, that you've got to look out for.
It's very confusing because De Niro, someone might sneak up on him and give the eye Heimlich.
Exactly. But you sneak up behind someone and you spray a little bit of saline solution. It's not the best. I have the Heimlich fainting foot. So
What's this?
so this is if someone faints and they fall and it's last second and you don't know what's really going to happen and you put out your toe to make sure the head doesn't hit the ground,
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's that
But
classic fainting foot.
Sometimes that can break your foot if someone falls too hard upon it. So this is a fake foot that you can extend?
Yes, it's a big foot.
It's like as soft as a pillow?
Yes. It's a foot. I got it with my pillow guy and he made a soft, cool foot.
This is the My Pillow guy?
Yeah, you know him. He's awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah, he sells his book where he went from crack addict to my pillow guy in less than 6 months. Has you seen this?
I'm not sure there wasn't some overlap there.
Early my pillow drawings are crazy.
Well, this sounds amazing, and from what I've seen on your website, this fake foot that's it hangs down in between your two natural legs, so it looks like you have 3 legs. Is that right?
Yes, it flops around, and occasionally I'm getting it to make it look like it's a 3rd foot, but occasionally it's just kind of flopping because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm so worried about people fainting. I have to carry this foot.
Right.
Let it just blend in with my body. my selflessness. You know,
I think this would be a great invention for someone like what's that guy's name, Pistorius, or who
Oscar
had the
Pistorius.
Oh yeah.
who had the metal legs that ended up killing his girlfriend. I mean, like if you were to faint on him, you've been impaled essentially.
Blade
Yes.
Runner, yeah.
his feet were not as soft as mine.
Wait, are you saying your feet are soft? Well, I don't know why you bring that up.
Oh, my feet are so soft.
All right. Well, look, Henry, we have to take a break. Can you stick around?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Jimmy, I know that you have to go, actually. Is that right?
I gotta go get my weekly COVID test to stay safe in Vancouver. I'm shooting something in Vancouver now.
You're shooting something in Vancouver, so you have to get something stuck up your nose. You ever have one of those experiences where you're like, hey, that wasn't my nose, and they go, well, that wasn't our COVID tester either. You know what I mean? That
Right.
old joke is that.
And yes, it was a penis. Was that the joke?
Sure. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's everything's shooting in Vancouver now. I think I might just start a second family here. You know, I don't have
good.
a first family. I'm just going straight to the second family.
So I know you have to go. Steve, can you stick around?
Of course, yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm very
for having
enticed
me.
to hear from this retiree, too.
Yeah, of course. We need to hear from the retiree. When we come back, we will have more with Steve Byrne, more with Henry Heimlich. We'll be talking to a retiree. This is very exciting. We'll be right back with more Comedy Bang Bang after this. Comedy Bang Bang, we're back here. We have Steve Byrne, writer and director of The Opening Act, which is in theaters and on VOD right now. 90 minutes of your time. We're talking a true 5-reeler. Is that right?
I'm doing math now? Yes. Yes, you're correct.
Because each reel is 20 minutes. So, yeah, 5 reels.
I was just very, very excited to see the transformation of Henry Heimlich once we went back on air. So right into
What were you doing during commercial? You had stopped stroking your beard, and now suddenly you're stroking it to make yourself seem more intelligent. Is that?
Yes, you has to look smart. So you stroke your beard, you stand with one hand on hip, you kick out a toe.
It's like you're on
soft
kickstand.
toe.
Yeah.
A soft toe.
This may be why people are fainting on your feet all the time. Is because you're kicking out those toes.
Well, sometimes my feet are so soft. Sometimes people lay down on them, a couple, and they go, I like this one, honey. This one seems firm enough for the both of us.
And you have to remind them they're not in a mattress store.
I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to drink coffee.
Add, of course, Starbucks, which is
heaven's favorite establishment. Hell is Coffee Bean.
What sleep number is your foot? Just curious. And is there a disparity between your left foot and your right foot?
That's a great question. My left foot is a sleep number 10, so it's very soft. And my right foot is more of a hospital bed that wedges up.
So when that movie My Left Foot came out, were you excited? Did you think it was about your foot, or?
I immediately went to the story show,
Which is what you call movies in South Germany.
Yes. I went to the story show ready to sue because I was like, I cannot believe this is about my foot, and they just they stole my story.
Did you do the same thing when My Own Private Idaho came out? Were you like ready to sue? Any movie that has "my" in the title isn't necessarily about you.
Yeah, I was like, I know about Idaho, and it's not private; it's public. Anybody can use it.
Fantastic. Well, we have to get to our, that's Henry Heimlich, by the way, inventor of the Heimlich Maneuver. We have to get to our next guest. She is a retiree, from what we don't know, but we will certainly find that out. Please welcome Jojo Banassi.
Oh, how you doing, everybody? This is really fantastic. I'm serious.
It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you. Give me something to do.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. I mean, you're a retiree. Is this a recent development for you?
Well, sir, my husband Gene and I, we decided to retire. It was March 1st, so it was fantastic. And then COVID came along, and so that really put a hitch in our giddy up. So as far as our plans.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, COVID coming along, maybe your life wouldn't be that different. I guess you can't leave the house, but a lot of retirees just stay at home.
We wanted to cruise. We were really going to cruise quite a bit. And that unfortunately was put, that was put to rest for quite a while. So.
Oh, no. So you were gonna see the world.
Yeah, we had boarding ready for the corgis, everything. And
you own corgis?
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
You're like the Queen of England.
Oh, no. I don't enjoy her. I'll be honest. I think she should retire. But
I don't believe one can retire from that position.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. It's like being a mom. But yeah, we just got another one. So we have Rizzo and Bryant, and we just got Santo. And yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's special needs, actually.
Oh, really? What's up with Santo?
He only had 12 chromosomes.
Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure how many a dog.
23.
23. Oh, because of 23andMe. Yeah, that's.
Yes, sir. Yes, very good.
So
yes.
9 short.
Yeah.
Is that a lot? To be.
Yeah. He's mostly ass. But all corgis aren't they? But we couldn't resist them. They were gonna put him down. So, but that was gonna be a nice thing for retirement. But now it's.
Are you allowed to bring corgis on cruises?
Because of he's considered therapy. So we were gonna board Rizzo and Bryant, and then Santo was gonna come with us because my husband has bad night terrors.
Oh, why?
Yeah. From the war.
Which one?
A few of them. He a few.
Did he
of
serve?
Them. No, he was in AT. It was the war on drugs. He was a CIA.
He did a lot of drugs.
Yeah, they did a lot of testing, like similar to those dookie mushrooms. He was forced to do a lot of experimentation. They just used him as a rat, basically, and so he's got some issues from that. Yeah,
I see. Okay, so he's done a lot of drugs and he has night terrors, and your corgi, who has 12 chromosomes, assists him with that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Jojo,
just wanted to get the details straight.
Are you from Chicago? I assume you have a
yes, sweetheart. I
Chicago.
am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Have you ever been there?
I lived in Bucktown for a little bit.
You lived in Bucktown?
I thought I recognized. I don't know. Did you ever do Shakespeare in the Park? Because
yes.
Okay, I think I had seen you once. I'd never seen Shakespeare performed. Yeah.
You were who now? Iago in Othello?
Yes.
Wow. So that's an amazing part. You were an actress.
Yeah. I dabbled.
Is that the job you retired from?
No, I was a travel agent. Oh. But then but I used to
How was she, Steve? Was she a good Iago?
And you can be honest, sweetheart. I mean it.
She was great. It's just the accent's distracting when you hear that with anything. Yeah. I think even in this conversation.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I be honest with you? The most. Oh, you're finding my accent distracting. And
no, I love it. I love it. I just want to Portillo's. Yeah. When you.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. I mostly looked at Iago the parrot as an example for how to play that character. So my apologies. That might have been what you were picking up on.
So were you just doing a Gilbert Godfrey impression the entire time? And can we hear it if so?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know if Shakespeare is public domain. I don't know if you can do it.
I believe it is. Or you could just kind of, bard lib and do a bunch of forsooths.
Okay. All right. Forsooth, you son of a bitch. Like, it was kind of a lot of that. It was fun because it was like a reboot. It was like sort of a reboot. It was all female, all white reboot of Othello.
Okay. Well.
Yes.
That's okay, great. Well, how did it do out there?
It didn't work. It didn't work as well. Yeah. There were
doesn't sound like it would work.
There were a few plot
points. Was that on the literature, all white? Was that on the poster?
No, we weren't allowed to put that on there, but perhaps in your country we would have put that on there. That'd
be a selling point where you're from.
Yes, because you should definitely put that on the poster next time.
Okay, all right. I like this guy.
Thank you.
That's fun. But I'm happy that you are recognizing Chicago. A lot of you comedians, I'm more of a flyover gal. I think I'm in those flyovers.
No,
states.
I love Portillo's. I love it. There's nothing better.
You gotta get a beef.
People who have been to Chicago, they love talking about it, don't they?
Talking about Chicago, I don't love anything more than I love Chicago.
Yeah, I can only. I mean, the commitment to that accent that they have. You gotta love it in order to do that. It's so grating on the ears.
Oh, I'll be honest with you. I find your accent horrifying.
Really? So
Yes.
that's very interesting because I have a very mid-Atlantic, nondescript, flat accent. I think.
Sweetheart, it sounds like trash. I don't know what it is, but I don't even notice mine. I really don't. I really don't hear it no more.
It's quite harsh. It's you've dialed it up to a 10, I have to say.
It's just me. No, I just wanted to say Bucktown. You were bucked down in Bucktown. I think is a fun thing. I wish I would have known you then. I would have given you that. Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure meeting. And if I were to guess, what vocal range is a whisper? What do you consider you whispering?
Oh, I have been whispering. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, Gene is sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been whispering because I don't want to wake him because he will hijack this whole thing with the series. Yeah. Okay.
So what have you and your husband been up to then since the quarantine happened?
So here's the thing. So here's the ironical part.
By the way, you don't have to ask me if you can be honest. I expect full candor from you at all times.
Really? Okay. Oh, that's great to know. Thank you. Okay. Well, all right. So basically, I was a travel agent and he worked as a golf pro. So the ironical thing is the things that you do when you retire, we had done. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
You most people travel or they get a lot of time to play golf every day, but you've already done that. So
Yes, sir.
what does retirement look like for people like you?
Well, the reason we wanted to cruise for a while was because we found out that it's actually cheaper to live on a cruise ship than it is to live in a major city now.
Oh.
So we were going to do that. And but obviously that went to shit. So, one thing I did discover was I was thinking maybe I would get into writing. But I don't, I'm not.
Yeah. Writing what? Writing poetry, writing screenplays.
I wanted to write some YA.
Young adult, fiction, I would imagine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I wrote a novel about a gal who's 12, but then she has a time machine and she's 40.
How does that work? She gets into the time machine and steps out of it being 40 years old?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I called it.
So it's a time machine for what? Everyone else?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And it was, to be quite frank with you, which I don't have to say, I just enjoyed the title, which was just Lordy, Lordy, look who's 40. I enjoyed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can see how you come up with a title like that. And sometimes they say you have to kill your darlings.
That's
but,
right.
you're really going to back into
politics.
it.
Let's not talk politics.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm not sure that's the term for.
Oh, okay.
But
Is this abortion?
oh, okay.
Again, I don't
Henry,
want to
we definitely don't want to talk your politics, Henry.
Okay.
Have you ever written anything, Henry?
Well, I am busy. I just actually wrote something today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Well, let's hear it then if it's so short.
Do you think Jesus just popped by the Last Supper?
Oh, okay.
Was he even there for that long?
I guess I didn't mean these jokes you're writing for Dave Coulier.
Well, no, that's all I write. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's interesting, though, because Jesus definitely had another gig that night. He had somewhere to be.
Yeah, I'm sure he was like, I has to go to this supper real quick. I'm going to pop in. And then they paint the whole thing as like he was his.
Yeah, he's like right there in the middle of the painting. He's gesturing to everybody.
Yeah, we just popped by.
I'm trying to tag this up. Steve, you have any tags?
This is taking a hard left.
There.
And why 12, right? Why 12 of them? I don't think that I have 12 friends myself, but this guy is just bragging about how many friends he has.
Yeah, did he just look at a carton of eggs and go, that's how many friends I want?
Yes, this is a winner. I like this.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah. So the cruises you're unable to go on them. So what are you actually doing while you're in quarantine?
We've been watching a lot of television. We're trying to catch up on things that we had missed when we were working.
What shows are you trying to catch up on?
We're watching MASH. We've been watching MASH.
60 Minutes?
It is about, yes, I think it's a half-hour program.
Oh, no, I guess I mean the show 60 Minutes. It's been on.
We can't watch that, actually, because the ticking clock triggers Gene. So we actually can't watch that. But I mean, that sounds like a fantastic program. But yeah, so we're catching up on DVDs and things like that. But it really is. It's an unfortunate time to retire, I think. Because
if you could go back and do it all over again, would you just keep working?
Well, sir, I was sort of phased out in a lot of ways by things like orbits and those types of websites.
Sure. So this was not a planned retirement. This is more of just your business folded or you got fired.
No, I've never been fired in my life. I've never been fired. That's a proud thing of
How many
mine.
jobs have you had over the years?
About 16.
16, and you've quit each one.
No, I sort of phased out of each one.
What is that? I guess I don't know what you mean.
I think she's saying she worked at the Yellow Pages, then she worked at Radio Shack.
Yes, sir.
Then she worked at Blockbuster. I see. I think she's really bad luck for business.
So the business is
You're telling me, kid.
The businesses all just went away.
Yeah, they were. I like the term phased out. I think it's a little more gentle. It's how you say someone passed as opposed to they died.
Have a lot of people died that you've known?
Oh yes, very much so, especially nowadays. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
the older you get, the more people pass.
That's actually true no matter what year it is.
Yeah. No, that's not a 2020 thing. That's just life.
Yeah.
And we had a Zoom's funeral the other day for one of my cousins. But
what was that like? I've been hearing about these. Were you able to grieve properly?
No, not really. But I will say I think it's more fun. In a lot of ways, it really makes the funeral more fun because you're watching people try to mute their mics and things like that, and then you're hearing stuff you wouldn't normally hear at funerals, which is kind of fun.
Did you change your background at all to make it fun?
Yeah, it was a picture of her.
Like sort of almost like she was sneaking up behind you to give you the hug?
Yes, sir. Very good. Yes, sir.
That relates to your interests, Mr. Heimlich.
Yes, you has to be sneaky. Did she die from choking?
No. She did not. She died of extenuating circumstances.
Oh, I guess what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not really supposed to go public about it, to be quite frank.
Oh, well, not that many people listen to this show.
Really? Yeah. No, she was part of a plan to kidnap one of the governors.
Oh, one of the governors.
Yes, sir. And it went south. Yes.
Oh, so she actually enacted this plan, and in the middle of it was killed by the authorities, or fell off a bridge, or what?
I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to really get into it, but let's just say she shot herself in the foot. We'll say.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, if you have a soft foot, that can be okay sometimes because it'll just bounce right off. But have you ever been shot in the foot, Mr. Heimlich?
One time my middle foot was shot. My middle foot was shot, and it went bing. As if it kind of sounded like I was at the carnival.
Right. Well, I mean, that is another reason your invention is so great, because a lot of times you ever see those cowboy movies where they're shooting at people's feet, trying to make them dance.
Yes.
Yeah, and they miss and they actually shoot someone in the foot. A lot of people will mistake your middle foot for a real foot and then just shoot those.
Yes, if you have Western enemies, I would say you definitely need the third foot I have. The fainting foot.
The fainting and or shooting foot.
That's
Exactly.
So neat. That's interesting. We were going to take a European cruise actually and go around like the Baltics and stuff like that. So that would be neat. I've never been to Europe or anything.
Have you ever been outside of Chicago?
Yes, sir. We've been to Upper Wisconsin.
Okay.
And you were a travel agent.
Yes, sir.
Did you
don't
not
get
want
high on
to-
your own supply, honey.
Other than your husband.
No, poor guy. Yeah, but he was just doing his job.
What job did he? I mean, the government was performing experiments on him? Is that what you're leading me to believe?
Yeah, I mean, the government, I mean, it was the 60s and they were sort of trying out some new stuff.
This is when you, Mr. Heimlich, created your Heimlich Maneuver, the 60s. So a lot was going on.
Exactly at the same time. Well, people were choking and I didn't get around to the maneuver until the early 70s.
But
yeah,
experiments with drugs, a lot of chokings going on. I mean, this was a turbulent decade.
Yeah, the 60s were rough for a lot of folks. So he suffered from that. But I think they got some good drugs out of him. I really do.
Wait, they were experimenting on him to create drugs?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's the reason we have Prilosec. It was it was originally supposed to be more of a hallucinogenic thing, but then it turned out that he was having his stomach felt great. So it was sort of like, remember how like Latisse was a glaucoma drug, and then they found out it made your lashes grow. So similar to that, yeah.
So he was like a mouse or a rat. They test stuff on.
Yeah,
and his stomach normally felt bad. And suddenly
yes, sir. Well, in Chicago, our stomachs always feel bad.
Oh, because of the food that you're eating all the time.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
Well, this is terrible. I mean, I look like a lot of us. I would love for this year not to count in my heavenly count that God tabulates, for how old I'm going to end up being. But unfortunately,
is God taking a nap? Come on, 2020.
Stop it with your material.
I gotta be honest, that one got me.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna submit it to Coulier.
Coulier, by the way, is so similar to Coolio, isn't he?
Yes, he's been spending most his life in.
Oh, you started this and don't know how to finish it.
I thought it would for sure be there, but that's the thing with comedy. Sometimes it just goes away. You write in, listener. You finish it.
Yeah, we usually like to do several half jokes on this show that our listeners complete for us, so we'll check back in next week.
Yes, please submit the end of that because we'll submit it to Coulier.
Wow. Well, we are running out of time, guys. We only have one final feature on the show, and that is, of course, a little something called plugs.
It's time for plugs. My favorite. It's time for plugs. Time for plugs. From Comedy Bang Bang. Time for plugs. Time for plugs.
Oh, it's over. Wonderful. That was beautiful. That was
gorgeous.
That was beautiful.
Time for plugs, parentheses, Norris Jones, end parentheses, by Megan Stecker. Beautiful voice, Megan, if that is indeed you singing. And, of course, the name Norris Jones comes to us from the Fun Home, the musical. I believe that may be a takeoff on one of the songs that we talked about on the Comedy Bang Bang tour a lot. So thank you so much to Megan for that. Please submit your own plugs submissions wherever you submit them, although I have no idea where that would be. All right, well, let's go to plugs here. Steve, I assume that you are speaking for both you and Jimmy when you plug the opening act. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
You have authority. You have power of attorney. You can speak for Jimmy when it comes to this.
I'll go to Kinko's and get it notarized for sure. I'll provide paperwork. Yes.
Thank you. And this is out right now, theaters and VOD. And what kind of back end, what kind of points do you have on this?
I'll never see a dime. I'll never see a dime.
Did you put your own money into it, or is this all Vince Vaughn's like pocket change?
Definitely not Vince's pocket change. But I put a little in, you gotta put some Band-Aids on in the posters. I'm sure there's some things you want to do.
I never put a dime into my own money into any project I've ever done.
God bless. God bless.
So
I think I need to siphon, suck off the teat of Mr. Heimlich to wet my beak.
Mr. Heimlich, you looking to invest?
I would love to get into the film business. I have a little bit. 2020 was a high choking year, so I am getting a lot of ASCAP royalties. So
why was it such a high choking year? I would imagine that everyone being at home, maybe it's just a high Heimlich year. There were as many chokings as there were, but people are there with each other to use the Heimlich. Is that what?
Yes, everybody is with somebody they love, so they use the Heimlich a lot. When you're just out at a bar, somebody might be like, fuck that, I'm not giving them the Heimlich, I barely know them.
Can I ask Mr. Heimlich, and this, I hope this question isn't improper, but do you ever get a royalty when someone is, I guess, making love in a certain position and accidentally kind of squeezes their partner?
Yes. Do I siphon off of doggy style royalties? Is that what you're saying?
That's what, yes. Whatever dog invented doggy style. Are you getting a cut?
Heimlich only.
Okay.
I don't know who gets royalties from doggy style, but
maybe Snoopy
they're nasty. maybe Snoopy.
We called that the Jefferson Park push here in this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what we call doggy style. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Heimlich, anything you want to plug?
Yes, you can watch an animated show on Fox at 8:30 on Sundays called Bless the Hearts.
Bless the hearts or their hearts or your accent again?
Bless the Hearts.
The Hearts.
It's a TH. If you watch the YouTube video on German accents, the TH is a Z, man.
Okay, sorry. Bless the Hearts. That's on Sundays on Fox. It's an animated show.
Yes.
And people can watch that currently.
Yes, they can. And of course, the other two, Z, as in THE, the other two is streaming, I think, on iTunes and possibly still the Comedy Central app.
Won't that be on HBO Max at some point?
It is moving to HBO Max at some point.
Wonderful. And how do you, a person unconnected with that production, feel about that?
I'm very excited.
Okay, so if it's trickling down to just normal citizens, the excitement for the other two on HBO Max.
The cast must be elated.
Wonderful. Jojo Banassi, what are you plugging here?
I'll be honest with you. We're one of the only folks that have Showtime. And there is a great, this is a program on the Showtime. It's actually right after Bless the Hearts on Sundays. It's called Our Cartoon President. It's also a cartoon. And there's a gal on there that does some bang up voices.
Oh, boy.
I'm serious.
That's amazing. And that's on weekly as well. People can check that out.
Yeah, that's on weekly until after the election. In which case, TV might be taken away from us.
All right. Yeah, depending on who wins the election, either your jobs are over because of the government coming in and taking them away from you, or because the point will be moot at that point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. I want to plug, from what I understand, from what's the information that's being sent to me from my team out there on the street, the Comedy Bang Bang television show is not on Netflix anymore, but has moved over to AMC Plus. I don't know what AMC Plus is. They did not offer me a free subscription. They're not even giving me any kind of money, nor do I see any money from this show that I did. And I have points, Steve. Yeah. I have points, and I've never seen a dime. Well, creative Hollywood accounting. But that is over on AMC Plus, all episodes apparently. All right, let's close up the old plug bag.
You start with a C when you want to close it up. You lead with an L, and then you open up the plug bag. Open up the plug bag. Take your hand and open it up. Then Horatio comes and then he just says, the days of paradise. Let's it all my life. The days of paradise. Open up the plug bag. Open it up that plug bag. Open it up the plug bag. Open it up some plug bag. Open up the plug bag. Open up the plug bag. Everybody wants to open up the plug bag. Just keep it fucking open up the plug. Open up the plug. Open up the plug. Open it up.
Guys, thank you so much. I want to thank you, Steve. Always great to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Great seeing
to
you.
Wonderful job with the film. And Jojo Banassi, thank you. You know, I would say congratulations to you, but your life seems kind of grim, but you have a wonderful outlook upon it.
Thank you so much. It's really the only way to live your life. Yeah.
It truly is. And then speaking of living his life, Henry Heimlich, who's been alive since, I'm guessing, the 40s, if you're having these conversations regarding choking in the 60s. So you're probably 80 years old or so.
A gentleman never tells his age, but you nailed it.
Congratulations to you. I hope you have, I hope your new inventions are really, gonna do well, I guess. But I'm gonna leave it up to you to do one last joke here on the show.
Okay.
Do you need a topic? Do you need something from the Bible?
Could I set him up?
Yes. Set
Please.
me up, please.
Okay, I will. So one thing we all know about Jesus is he said he was coming back.
That's the one thing we all know.
Yeah.
What are you, my mother, when she goes into the shoe store? Where are you, Jesus? We need you.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.